This episode of the Diverse Creative Podcast is proudly brought to you by My O3 Music Easy. A little more on that later. Welcome to the Diverse Creative Podcast, and I am here with Belinda and Amy. So, guys, just give me who's who in the zoo here. Belinda, Amy, Belinda?
Yeah. You've got it right.
But we respond to both any name. So we actually
It's so funny.
Without thinking about it.
That's so funny. So you're Belinda, Amy,
Belinda, Amy.
Amy.
People get offended. Yeah. So we've come across that. People get offended. They'll call me Belinda, and if I don't react, they're like, "What the hell, Belinda?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I'm Amy." And they're like, "Oh, okay, whatever, Belinda." I'm like, "Okay, shove then."
Priceless. Okay, so you guys are performing this year as part of the Galpalooza festival that is happening countrywide. Where are you guys going to be performing?
We're performing at Daisy Jones in Stellenbosch.
Nice. I've heard it's an incredible venue.
Yeah, we haven't played there yet. It's going to be our first time, but we're very excited. It is a famous venue, so yeah, low-key, super nervous.
From what I have read, you guys have been nominated for a bunch of different awards. You've won a bunch of different awards. I somehow don't think you need to be too nervous, but tell me a little bit about your background and how you guys came together. Let's start there.
Okay. It's healthy to be a little bit nervous though. But anyway, so I was part of a couple of bands. I was a solo artist for a while. Then Amy and I became friends, and she sort of pitched up at all my gigs, which is already weird. and eventually offering and bringing people along, it's suspicious, and then also offering to help with carrying sound, which is the most suspicious.
You're offering to be a roadie, very suspect, man.
Yeah, very. And then I had this house concert somewhere here in the Free State, and she asked if she can do a song, and I knew she could play a little bit, but a lot of people can try and sing a bit. But then I was actually shocked of how talented she was, and like, wow. And then from there, it was like just before COVID, then I would gig at a place and then say, listen, come and do a song or two. And during COVID, we actually did online live stream because she was staying here also. So she totally infiltrated my life.
This sounds like a very well thought out plan, actually.
Now come to think of and then we had this thing on online shows during COVID. I think a lot of artists did that. It was a bit dodgy because it didn't sound that great always. But then we started doing one or two songs together, and then just after COVID, I was booked for a gig, and it was crazy times. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna go, but she needs to back me because I was a bit unsure, how it's going to go. And because I just lost my mother a day or two before that due to cancer. Sure. So it was like, oh my gosh, but I have to do it. You can't just stop doing what you do. So then I just said, come with me on stage. Let's do it. And let's see what happens. And it actually never stopped from there. We started getting bookings and vibing and bookings. And since how long now?
It's now 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, from COVID. Yeah.
So, and it's like it was a new phase for me in music, in my music. And now we were usually just Belinda and, Amy opening maybe or doing a few songs now. Then we just said Belinda and Amy as a name of the band, which some people still go, but get another name or whatever, and we just say no, we're Belinda and Amy, although people switch it around, Amy, Belinda, whatever, but we have a logo and stuff, so this is it. Vinnige agtergrond.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's amazing because I think COVID changed the entire music scene for us all, you know. We, like you said, went to doing like online concerts and house shows and like little intimate gatherings just to kind of keep music alive because it felt like it was all dying at that
Yep.
point. But it
Yep.
also did bring a lot of people together for a length of time in
Yeah, a lot of
enclosed spaces. And that was either great or it was terrible. So for some people, it was a disaster.
Yeah.
But clearly for you guys, it was a great
Yeah.
success.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was scary times.
tragedy, then something good comes out of something bad, you know. It's
Yeah.
how life works.
It's
Yeah.
been crazy ever since. Like it hasn't stopped. Now
So
she's running
tell
away.
me,
Bye.
I mean, you guys, I'm sure she'll pop back in. You guys have done so much then in what is actually a fairly short space of time. I mean, 6 years, like 6 years is obviously a length of
Yeah,
time.
and
Is.
I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, but usually that's like a beginning of something. But yeah, she picked up the bass guitar because we needed bass more because we don't always perform with a full band. So she just, I can't believe that, the quick learner. And she is obviously hugely intelligent, amazing. And I had to teach her how to do like the cabling and whatever of a sound system. Now she's telling me stuff. I'm happy she's taking control. Like really, Amy is, yeah. So it's it's quite a powerful thing, the bond and.
I think we also, because we're both a little bit older, I think when we started and we realized who our colleagues were at that stage, like they were calling us Tani. So we realized we have to make or break it and it has to happen now. So like, before my hips give in, before we have to push each other in in roll chairs. Imagine in roll chairs. Who says roll chairs?
Checkers trolleys.
In wheelchairs.
Well, this actually happened.
Yeah,
I had an ankle accident and I was in a moon boot. So we didn't stop gigging. So she had to drive. She had to set up the sound. I just sat there having my tequila and then performed.
It was a great look for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
This week's episode of the Diverse Creative Podcast is very proudly sponsored by My O3, which is a local KZN e-zine, and I'm super excited to have them on board as our first official sponsor for the podcast because this is a concept that I really, really love and believe in. This local e-zine does everything from artist interviews, music reviews, they have a gig guide, they do event reviews, they interview other local creatives that are doing projects around KZN, they do a new music review, they do a strain review, they've got a dispensary guide, and there's even more packed in there. And one of the amazing things about this e-zine is it's such an interactive experience. You click on a link, it takes you straight to a digital magazine that you can flip through, you can turn the pages, and then it's got links embedded in it, which you can click on. It'll take you straight to the artist page. It'll take you straight to a map of dispensaries around KZN. It'll take you straight to a gig guide. It really is such an amazing, fun, and interactive e-zine to read through, and it is supported by the local KZN community and by local KZN music lovers and supporters. So there's a bunch of writers that write for it monthly, including youth writers, and then there are volunteer writers that pop in and out, including myself. I have been one of those volunteer writers that share experiences they have around KZN and the KZN music scene and write about them for My O3, which has truly become our O3. So I'm very proud to have them on board as our first official sponsor. So if you haven't had a chance to check out My O3, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. So please do go find them on social media. You're looking for My O3, and you will be able to then go and find their back catalogue of magazines right from day one and read through all the amazing stories that they have collected along the way. So please do follow the link and check it out. I can already tell that you guys have an amazing chemistry and that it must just be so much fun to watch you guys on stage, because even just chatting to you guys now for the last not even 10 minutes, I'm already laughing myself silly. I'm like, really, this is so entertaining. So your dynamic must translate to your stage performances, I can only imagine. It's seeing as you guys, I mean, I know for myself, when I get on stage and I've got another musician with me, it's it's so comforting to have someone else to fill that sound space with, because it's like you, as you know, Belinda, like as a solo musician, you're up there on your own, you're playing your guitar, you're doing your vocals, and you're trying to you can hear in your head all the other pieces, right? But the audience doesn't get that. And you're somehow trying to fill that space with your sound, with your music. And the
Yeah.
minute you've got someone else with you who can add those
No,
pieces,
it's different.
it's an amazing feeling,
And
right?
especially someone that sticks, you always get, I would play with other people, but that person that's like, shame, always there, arm aims. And, having those late nights when you was doing solo stuff, getting to your car, lugging those speakers around, it was sometimes a bit hectic. I can't imagine doing it now alone though. So, yeah.
No, but it was easy with her. Belinda's super professional, and she's also super talented. So by the time I got in, it was literally like fill the blanks. I was just like, okay, yeah, I am.
But we became something, on its own.
Yeah,
So
in the beginning, she was like, "This is the progression is like this," and I was like, "Speaking Chinese, but it's fine. I'll figure it out."
yeah, then we started writing more. Like she would write a song, and I would like, we completed together. I would write a song, so it became like two separate parts now becoming one. It's now Belinda and Amy. That's it.
Yeah, now we kind of just on stage, we kind of just know what the other one's going to do. Sometimes we even, because we suck at set lists, so sometimes one
Me
song
too.
goes to the next one without even talking to each other. It's
Yeah.
just like, I know what she's thinking. This is where we're going. You can really feel, okay, this is the shift. So that's lekker. But that obviously comes with time and a lot of punching each other now and then.
We do.
And
We normal. We obviously we like sisters, and we help each other. Growl at each other now and then. But I think that's where the important part comes in, that you have to be good friends.
Yeah.
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 So
Absolutely.
that's a positive thing. Instead of searching for a musician and then becoming friends, first of all, we had that ground base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean,
Okay.
I think that's amazing, especially because as musicians, we spend a lot of time, aside from the time we spend on stage, we spend time traveling to shows. We spend time, camping at festivals in sometimes uncomfortable conditions. We lug around heavy equipment. It's some of it is
Yeah.
like really just physically, mentally, emotionally hard or boring or challenging. And when you're doing it with someone that you aren't friends with, that must be almost
Yeah.
impossible. I mean, I know for myself, I feel like
Yeah.
my bandmates are like family, We're like
Yeah.
we all are so connected, and I can't imagine my life without them. And that's like music is obviously and especially songwriting is a very intimate thing. It's a very vulnerable thing. That's not something that you want to do with like some random oak somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that could be awkward.
Yeah, people do that, but I don't think we are.
Yeah.
And also then you have to be able to forgive each other, vinnig. If you're moody, dan weet ek sy vergewe vinnig. En van my kant af ook. So you have to like just see past all the crappy times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Look past.
especially awkward situations. Like we've been in weird Airbnbs, guy. Like
Yeah.
That's what I'm
and
talking
in
about,
tents
right?
that are way too small for two people. You're a musician, so you're trying to save money. So you're like, oh, we'll be fine in this little tent. And then after day two, you're like, okay, maybe we're not that fine at the tent, but we survive, and it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing quite like the memories that you make with your friends, right? And I mean, for us as musicians, this is what we do for a living, but it's also what we do out of the passion of our hearts and souls. And so when you
Yeah.
get to do these
Yeah.
things with your friends, and those memories are so amazing, sometimes challenging, sometimes messy, but always amazing. When you look back in hindsight,
Yeah.
it's such an incredible journey to go on. And like I said, you guys have actually got quite a repertoire behind you as far as, what you guys have done, what you guys have participated with, uh, TV shows, music awards. Like there's a bunch of stuff that you guys have pulled off together as a team. So tell me about some of those things and experiences. Pick your
I
favorite.
think we're just at this point. We were at a point where we were just like, we got our favorite. I think Klanke van my heart was my favorite.
On VR we were.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like it was just one thing led to another. We got a email the one day that was like, "Hi girls, we came across you guys. Are you interested? There's this TV show." And we're like, okay, cool, you know. And then when we started doing homework, we're like, wait a minute, this Karine Loubser, she did Zuid Africa, she did Jan. She's this award-winning director and film creator. So we were like, okay, great, this will be fun. And we thought it was just going to be like a bunch of like nobodies, you know, that's just there, you know, here's our big break. And when we get there, it's all these up and coming, already super established South African musos. And they're like, they all know each other. We're just like, oh, even us, we're here. And that was incredible. It was so humbling also.
To fill in that, you always hear the musicians, someone did this, they were on this platform, they got this opportunity, just like this one and many others. It's not actually just happening like a fairy tale you play in your garage and someone sees or hear you. It's usually someone who knows you, another musician that maybe mentioned you, you know, say maybe try them. They're from the Free State. They will, you know, because there's no one from the Free State. And so it's always someone that you maybe met, a good friend or whatever, that would not just, you know, stranger, but you never just accomplish or get on anything alone. You don't just go, very nie so baie nie. So ons glo daarin, you know, you have to help each other, like this Galpalooza thing. You know, it's you meet new people, new musicians, and then you link up from there till the next thing happens. You know, it's not just waiting and you playing on your social media and things happen. Yeah, so it always looks from the outside, wow, they accomplished this, they got into this, they got into that, but it's all linked. You know, we are all linked with each other, to each other.
And it's also putting yourself out there, like with the Afro Indie Awards. I don't think people realize you enter for these things. They don't just come. You know?
Exactly.
You enter, you know, fingers crossed that your songs aren't crappy and nobody wants to
you pay for the recordings, you send it, you have to do
so this. It's super vulnerable and it's super scary. It's like, okay, here's my feelings. You guys judge if they're cool or not, you know? And then you
which is intense.
Yeah, it's just like, it's not bad enough that it's on radio and everywhere, you know? So now I have people judging it for a prize, you know? So, yeah, you just have to put yourself out there. That's what we always tell people.
And our music, our originals, we don't record that often because it's pricey to get it done. Luckily, we have some cool producers or studios here in the Free State. But our music aren't on like heavy commercial stations at all. We still like, you know, Spotify, those platforms which you also obviously pay for. Here and there, like an internet radio station. It's not on the big commercial stations at all.
Because our stuff isn't big commercial.
No,
yet.
I don't think you should stop trying, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You send it out anyway. Maybe there's one or two songs one day, but that's not the beginning and the end of it. So
yeah, I think people, especially in the music scene, measure success with how many streams you have and how many this and how many on how many radio stations you're on. I mean, some of the most successful, in my eyes, musicians in this country aren't very well known. Like, and then some of the most well-known musicians in this country aren't the greatest musicians either, which is all, you know, there's place under the sun for all of us.
You know, the media, you know, their managers or whatever, there's a lot of money always behind things. So we shouldn't like be demotivated.
Yeah.
If you don't compare yourself, that's what I mean is we should, all of us do that. But we must always remember, don't compare with something that you see on some platform or, you know, media thing. But anyway, if you get an opportunity, go for it and look for it.
Yeah, create the opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, I think
you don't
so
get
much
gigs.
of what...
That's like, no.
So much of what we see on social media is an illusion. We see the
Yeah.
successes, we don't see the failures. No, or at least very few people, no one I know, is going on social media and saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
I submitted to this radio station, they
Mm.
rejected me outright."
Rejected me. Exactly.
No one's
Exactly.
putting that
And
piece
people
out
don't
there.
want to see that.
Yeah,
They don't want to hear the negative stuff always.
yeah,
And it's
and
easy to say, but we've done it. If you don't get gigs in your town or whatever, start doing something just in your living room, invite 10 people. It's just tough, but you have to do something from your side.
yeah. And I do think it's very valid to say you have to create your opportunities. You've got to apply for things, you've got to submit your songs, you have to try. Even if you don't feel like it's going to be a success, send it anyway, because someone's heard it, someone's listened, and you might find that you were surprised by their response to it. But if you
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
True.
try, you'll never know. It's a bit like the lotto. Like if you don't play, you definitely can't win.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
Yeah,
Exactly.
don't assume. You
Yeah.
shouldn't assume.
yeah. And
And I
also, I
Before
think
you.
very
yeah, and
valid
I
to
think
say you shouldn't compare yourself to others, because others' success is often, like you said, based on who they're paying, who's managing them, who they know, who knows them, word of mouth. And it's sometimes those connections that have got them the success that they have, not necessarily their talent or the song itself.
yeah.
Mm.
So to make those comparisons when you don't have the same assets that they're working with is just, really hard. It's like
Yeah.
always going to be flawed.
Exactly. Oh, and I think that's why Galpalooza is so cool because I think there's a whole lot of bunch. It's tough in the industry already. Being a woman is tough, like in general. Just being a woman is tough, and then being a woman in this industry is tougher. So to have a platform or I don't want to say niche, but to have a place where female fronted bands are being put forward and pushed to light,
Mm.
it's quite a breath of
And
fresh
it's
air.
not like excluding
No, and it's
male
not
artists.
exclusive.
It's just obviously a platform where it's more, because you
Yeah.
get a lot of it's true and it's fine, but you get a lot of festivals where there are no female fronted artists.
Mm.
It's maybe just what the type of festival, it's fine, but now this is something and we need more of that.
Yeah.
Let's focus on female fronted artists, so it's
And
great.
through that, I mean, if us ladies can network with each other and figure out and listen, I've seen a lot of things where I think, yes, this would be so cool, but it's not our style. And then you go to the show and you meet other musicians and you're like, you are exactly what I read about, what these people need. Sign up for this or do this or you'll get far here or, I think that's also a big issue in the industry is the gatekeeping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
share
like
things
I'm
that you
not,
see.
I don't fit into this shoe, but I'm not going to give the shoe to anyone else.
It's a great
Does it
analogy.
make sense? Yeah, and then some other guy off the street wears a shoe. Why don't you want your bra to get the shoe, man?
Yeah. Yeah, share the
And
opportunities and
Yeah.
match them.
yeah,
Match people up, match artists and
Yeah.
festivals or venues up if
Yeah.
you can.
yeah, absolutely. And I think it is Galpalooza has created an amazing community of artists and their various supporters that then come together and help to promote
Yeah.
each other. And that is such a huge thing, like you said, like just if it's not right for you, but it exists, maybe the right person doesn't even know that thing
Yeah.
exists yet, and the opportunity is waiting for them, but
Exactly.
you're the ones who have the information,
Exactly.
and vice versa. I mean, it is really such an amazing thing when people get together and how much we can uplift each other with our shared knowledge that we've accumulated.
Yeah. That's the truth. And yeah, I see it time and time again. We both see it time and time again. Like now it's the Free State art, a lot of local. The last 3 or 4 years
Yeah,
on the main stage, they've really put a focus on local artists.
Yeah, they're building it up and
Yeah.
they're actually listening to
To what
local artists say,
because for
suggesting.
years it would be artists from out of Bloem or out of the Free State even.
Obviously you need that at
Yeah,
big
you also need that
festivals.
also at big festivals to pull in the crowds. But it's so nice now to see, the people that you see on the weekends or whatever who think they're never going to be on a big stage get this chance to perform on this huge stage, and perform. And that's what it's about at the end of the day. It shouldn't be about what genitalia you have. It should be about, listen, here's an opportunity. Can you put 4 notes together and sing in key?
Yeah.
Are you a vibe?
Will your time slot work?
Will your time slot work? Go for gold. And I think that's what's so important. That's why Galpalooza is so important to us. Because a few years ago, we saw Galpalooza pop up. I think it was the first one or the second one.
Yeah.
And then Belinda stalked Jolene. And then eventually Jolene replied to us and she was like, yes, sorry, girls, the lineup's full. And we were like, oh, it's okay. We'll just be here from the sideline waiting for our turn. And then last year, we got our big break and we went through.
Yeah.
And it was a jewel. Yeah, it was wild.
And also, obviously, money is always a question, and we can always debate about it, and there's always someone not going to be happy. But sometimes you have to do something for cheaper or for free.
The cause.
Yeah, for a cause. But you can't obviously always do it. But you have to sort of have a window of that. It's like a business, you have some charity that you have to do.
And that's the cool thing about Galpalooza is Jolene understood that also. Like she put on the group the other day, no one plays for free.
Yeah.
Because that's cool, Other people would be too happy if you offer, listen, I'll play for free. They're like, yes, let's take advantage of this situation. And, and sometimes you have to play for free. It is what it is. Sometimes we've done it a lot to get our foot in the door somewhere. Sometimes you play for free. It's like, listen, I just want a chance to be heard. And then I get it. But there's also times where we've also said, listen.
This is not taking chances.
They're like, well, that's not going to happen. But that's the cool thing. And like with the Galpalooza team is you can talk to each other. You can be like, listen, here's an idea. Let's do it like this. But I mean, again, it's a team effort. Like Galpalooza wouldn't be where it is today if it wasn't for everybody sponsoring and everybody putting in the work and everybody advertising and trying to sell tickets. And that's the thing, that God helps those who help themselves. So if we don't make it work, it's not going to work.
And this, Jolene
it's
can't
absolutely
do it
a team effort.
Yeah.
No, totally. Yeah, and I think, you're very right in saying there's certain shows that you're happy to do for less financial output than you would for others. It's very dependent. And a friend of mine, a muso who recently moved from KZN to Cape Town, he came up with like a list for himself of what criteria he'd like a show to fill. Is it something that allows him to like play original music? And then he has like a point system. So if the show allows him to play original music but pays a little bit less money, he'll still choose that show because it gives him freedom, creativity. If a show doesn't want any originals and is going to play covers, but it pays really well, then again, he'll take that show.
Exactly.
For the financial remuneration. But if he finds that there's an imbalance and he's not actually gaining something from the experience, whether it's creative freedom or whether it's financial, then he looks at it and goes, okay, well, if I'm busy and I have a better opportunity to be creatively free, I'm going to leave that one by the sideline and I'm going to go there instead, even if it pays less money. And it gave him like a nice way to be kind of impartial about how he picks and chooses which ones he does for the love of it and which ones he does for the money.
List. You can share that list also.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, I'll send it your way.
That's a really cool idea because, like, great. Because we do fall into this panic of, what if, and it's something, I don't know, it's probably in your head too, in the back of my mind. I'm like, we're riding this awesome wave at the moment, but tomorrow we wake up and we're not flavor of the month anymore, and then what?
Yeah, because
So now you're so like, any gig that comes, okay, but now we're starting to learn that, okay, if I'm not flavor in the month anymore, then it is what it is, and it's good while it lasted, but so you start to become, we're at this point now where we've started to become more thoughtful about which gigs we're doing,
mindful.
What we're more mindful of, we need the money, but the next day we've actually got something more important happening, also so, music-wise, but something else that
especially
probably needs our energy.
In our local town, because Bloemfontein used to be like, not really, especially for female artists, when I would perform solo, I didn't use a backtrack or anything, and there were a lot of artists doing backtracks, so they sounded great, and they're like a party band, one-man party band, and then I just played with the bassist or whatever, so they wouldn't book me, And eventually that changed just before I met Amy. So I started getting gigs again, and the venues changed a little bit, their attitude. And then when we started like doing a thing, so we booked in Bloemfontein, fully booked, and we get functions where you can charge a bit more because it's a whole longer, the hours, the sound is more, you have to rent that in. So, but you have to at some point decide, and you can explain that to the people. Say, listen, if you can't pay us this fee, we're not able to, because maybe Amy has to take off from her day job still, at for certain times. We're still not, there where we're just making a living. I still teach a little bit, and I still paint, well, I always paint. So you have to make those decisions, like she says. So we're thankful, but you can say no, in a polite way, explain to people. I think that educates people also, because people aren't always aware of what it takes to do what you do.
And I also think, if you spend the entire time saying yes, like I'm all for saying yes to opportunities. I do think that, but I think it's also very powerful to learn the right moment to say no and how to say no, like you said, in a kind and educational way.
No.
Because if you just say yes all the time, it reaches this point where people take you almost for granted, and they don't realize the value of the things you're putting aside to be there for them, for their venue or for their event. So I think that's a very valuable piece of information to share with other artists as well, is to be discerning and thoughtful and mindful about what shows you choose and why.
Yeah, and I think it's just like I said, it's scary. It is, and I think it also depends on the era you grow up in, because we were raised by boomers, and now we're these millennials, and we've got this thing in our head: if you don't work hard, you're not going to get anywhere.
So you would work yourself.
So you have this
We've
guilt.
done 3 gigs in one day.
Yeah, you have this incredible guilt. Like, I'm sitting here doing nothing. Why am I doing nothing? I have now this anxiety of, but rest is just as important as grind.
We learned that actually in the 6 years that we've been booked and we were busy. There were times like, okay, now
we were just like
burning out.
So you're not giving that same quality show that you should actually be giving. So it's actually unfair towards the venue and towards the people that are there. If it's your third show for the weekend or the last 48 hours, it's your third show, your voice is a little bit shot already. But you just didn't say no because you're so afraid,
they won't
book you again.
Yeah.
So then eventually you get, but I think it comes with time, and I think it comes with wisdom, luckily. You get to a point where you're like, okay, it's got to be this, and sorry.
I think it's also when you have other priorities that, when you have other priorities, like you got kids, I got kids, so I know what it's like. You start to really have to do this immense juggling act anyway, that your time and your energy becomes very precious. And so when you do choose to give it, you want to give it you want to give it as much as you can. But you also know when to say enough now. I got to leave some time for everyone and everything else. I think that's really amazing. And if you guys had sort of one piece of advice you could give to someone starting in this industry, you guys have now been together in this for 6 years. You've been in this for longer as a solo artist yourself. You've been following her and supporting her for longer than the 6 years. So tell me, what is that one piece of advice each of you would give?
Be open to criticism. Without being offended.
But don't take everything literally. Don't do what people tell you. Still decide and, go, okay, they have a point there, but my circumstances, my timing, the way I am, the way that everybody's unique, and you can't be what everybody tells you. You can just decide what works for you.
And also the weight of certain people's, it falls in the same thing, is you need to judge the weight of someone's opinion. If you're a person who's a mechanic and you come and tell me you should rather be doing Gambler because your voice works for Gambler. Whereas if, you're the director of Sony Music,
we don't do
and
Gambler.
You come and you're like, listen, my guy, Gambler would be perfect for your band. It carries weight, like the mechanics guy, like it's cool. You've got but I'm still not going to do Gambler. But
exactly like you mentioned earlier, we do covers at certain events, more covers at certain events, just originals. So, and some we mix it up. And we started to realize something, just a tip. If you perform at like a typical restaurant bar and you sing your originals, don't mention it.
Yeah.
Just sing it. Just mix it up with the covers. Sometimes people think they know it and they
they start pretending to sing along. You're like,
and then they start to know the songs actually weirdly.
Yeah.
But if you stop and say this is an original, then people go like, oh, I don't know it, and then mix it up with your covers. That's our survival tip. Then because you have to play your originals live to practice them for that big stage.
You've got to give them that leg room.
So we always try and keep that balance. Otherwise, you leave your originals out and you're scared to play them. So you have to gooi hulle tussen die covers and don't mention it, whatever. You have to practice them live.
Yeah. Because something is different live. I always find when you write an original song and then you take it onto stage and you play it live, it transforms a bit, and it grows and it
does grow.
Yeah, and you have to do that. If you don't do that, it doesn't ever fully become what it's supposed to be anyway.
Yeah. So you're scared people don't react and maybe the vibe dies down. Sometimes it does, but just then the next song you can play, we can Stand By Me again, and it's fine. Then they'll sing along again, give it 2-3 songs, then you play your original, whatever, move on. But like you say, it evolves live. Live is very important.
Yeah, it really is. So tell me now, where can people find you on social media? Where can they find your music? You do have recorded works out there. Give me the places.
So obviously on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, all those things.
We are
don't even know
TikTok. Amy's supposed to run the TikTok.
Yeah, we are on TikTok.
I TikTok.
Kind of.
I really battle with TikTok. I get it.
Social media monster. So we're there. We're on all the social media monsters. We're feeding them, and then obviously Spotify and iTunes and Deezer and everything in between. OnlyFans, you name it, you'll find us.
And also, we have 2 music videos.
Yeah.
On KykNet. I don't know if people
still
watch TV, but KykNet.
People do.
So also make music videos, gooi it on there, send it to the people. We've been turned down many times, but luckily we have 2 on there. And where else?
That's it.
We're busy recording 2 new songs now.
Yeah.
Like a rocky song and a chill song. Because the recordings we have, some of them were still my old recordings. Then we moved on to a Belinda and Amy platform profile. So you probably will find some of my old stuff, but we're just bringing that down. Re-recording some stuff, but writing new stuff. So, there's a few. Afrikaans and Engels. We just need her to write a Portuguese song because she is fluent in Portuguese. She's half Portuguese. So we must, request a Portuguese song when you see us live.
Definitely. I will definitely do that. I mean, I think that adds a whole new twist. So you gotta throw it out there.
Surprise.
I'm just like phonetically doing backup vocals.
Vocals for that one. Who's and ahs, right?
Yeah.
Well, guys, it has been so nice to talk to the 2 of you and get to know you and get to know a bit more about your music. And I sincerely hope to connect with you guys in the future. Next time you got something coming out, drop me a message and let me know.
We will. Good luck with the kids.
Thanks, you too, and have an amazing, amazing time at Daisy Jones. You guys are gonna rock it.